It's been a long time since I've done one of these. Hey guys, and welcome to my top 10 favorite video games. One of my Facebook mutuals made their own list, which I then did myself, and I thought, why not make a video out of it? So here it is. These are games I still have a lot of fondness for, and I have played some of them in my adult years, predominantly on emulation. This list will be in no particular order, as I don't really think I'd be able to rank them, except for number 1. Number 10, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. We didn't have that many Mega Drive games from what I remember, but this is the one I spent the most time playing, although I don't think I ever actually got to the end since the Silver Sonic fights always stonewalled me, and getting Super Sonic was always a pain since the special stages in Sonic 2 were complete bullshit. The first time I ever actually got a super form was when I played Sonic 2 as Knuckles, as we had the Sonic 3 or 4 attachment cartridge thing. But I wasn't able to get Super Sonic until I played it on PC. But I do have fond memories of it. The visuals were really nice, the music was great, the levels were fun to traverse, most of the time anyway. It's an absolute classic from my childhood and one of the best 2D Sonic games to date. Number 9. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. After we moved to New Zealand, my brother and I were gifted a PS1 on our first Christmas here. We also got 2 games, Abe's Odyssey and Disney's Hercules, although I was never any good at that one. This is the one I poured so much time into. Side note, I do have it in mind to do a Let's Play at some point. It's a phenomenal game. It's not too difficult except at certain points, and I was able to rescue every single Mudokon pretty reliably, but when I started to emulate it or play it on Steam, I always missed some. Abe was a really charming character, and possessing the Sligs was always fun. The cutscenes were also extremely impressive for the PS1, almost next-gen. I have also played Abe's Exodus, but I never did get to the end, and between the two, I just hold the first game more fondly. I think it would have been nice to get a movie adaptation, although I don't know how good CGI was at that point in time, and game adaptations don't always work out. But I had a great time passing through the different areas, killing Sligs and Slugs, messing with Scraps and Paramites, and watching Abe rescued from the brink of death. I'll always love this one. Number 8. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, widely regarded as one of the most RNG-intensive Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, but also beloved by a lot of people. I had a lot of difficulty with it when I was younger, as I didn't really have easy access to the internet, and I don't even know if I would have been able to find helpful information anyway. Having watched multiple videos on its RNG in recent years, I have gotten better with the fusion mechanic and grinding. I still have yet to actually beat the game though, but I am more knowledgeable and experienced compared to all those years ago, and it's still a fun game either way. The music, especially in free duel mode, is a terrific track. It's not really a game I'd recommend for those without patience, but if you don't mind mindlessly grinding, it's a classic from the early years of Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. Number 7. Secret Weapons over Normandy. I've pretty much always loved wartime flying games, and this was one of my absolute favorites. If I could just get Xbox emulation to work, I'd absolutely pick this up again. Battling through World War II in a variety of airplanes, shooting down enemies, blowing up ground vehicles and ships, just a great time overall. It did get stupid difficult during the Pacific War section, and I inevitably had to look up a god mode to actually finish the game. Yes, I am a filthy cheater, at least in single player. But besides that, I loved it. Game was still really fun, voice acting was really good, characters were colorful. It's one I highly recommend, and another I would let's play if I could. Number 6. Legend of Legaia, a JRPG I hold very fondly. It took me a long time to really learn the concept of grinding, mostly because I had basically no one to talk to about gaming. So in games like this, I was trying to beat bosses or get through areas at lower levels than I probably should have been. But I was able to get to the end one time, which I think is an achievement. I really liked the idea of this game's magic attacks by using the arm-mounted Saru. The variety of animations was really impressive. The story was also really somber. The mist overtaking the world, forcing humanity into hiding, seeing people become what were essentially demons, not the happiest of plots. Actually getting the Saru absorbed to use in combat was pretty annoying since you couldn't damage them too much, and I don't know if there's a specific strategy with assigning specific Saru to each character as I never had a guidebook. If I can get hold of one, I will definitely revisit this one. Number 5. Star Ocean: The Second Story. This was the first JRPG I really sat down and played and fell in love with. Again, I only got to an ending once, pretty much entirely due to the last few Ten Wise Men fights. But it's probably still my absolute favorite JRPG. I haven't yet played the remake on Steam, but I fully intend to once I buy it. If you remember one of my earlier top 10s, I mentioned how Rena was the first fictional character I truly fell in love with. I have more or less subsided with that, but once I play the remake, I know those feelings will come back. There are some really tough sections in Star Ocean 2 that will trip you up if you aren't careful or prepared. I know I struggled at various points, but I still loved the game and had a good time. I just wish the anime adaptation Star Ocean EX had covered the second half of the game. A lot of anime fans have said they want a third season of K-On! I just want a second season of EX. Number 4. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. My first real step into scary games, at least on PC. This game is one I would always come back to, and still play to this day. The spooky atmosphere, the chilling feeling of the enemies being nearby, the terrified sounds of Daniel breathing. This classic is a masterclass of horror games. There are the odd things that haven't aged well, namely the dead bodies that Josh Strive-Hayes says really break the atmosphere the game was going for, and I can see that argument. It might have been better for the developers to have never included them. But that aside, I love this game. It is definitely one you should play in the dark with headphones, as I tried to do and will absolutely try again. Number 3. MechAssault 1. What could be better than being able to pilot a variety of huge, heavily armed mechs and just destroy shit? In terms of original Xbox games, this was at the very least one of my favorites, and is one I really want to revisit. I did play the sequel Lone Wolf, which is great in its own right, but the first game was my jam. Does anyone say that anymore? My favorite mech was the Cougar, and I did try to play through the game just using it, at least on the missions where you can choose your mech. I wasn't a big fan of the Elemental mission since you're so much weaker in that one. It's also the big reason why I barely tried playing above green difficulty. But the game was still a literal blast. We still have our old Xbox 360, so if I can get a replacement copy of the game, I will be able to relive the memories of blowing shit up. Number 2. Halo Combat Evolved, the flagship title of the original Xbox, and the start of the story of Master Chief, at least in terms of game release. This one should come as little surprise. You ask people to make a top 10 video games list, chances are CE will make it onto some of them. It is so iconic. Playing as Chief, mowing down the Covenant and Flood, listening to the banter of Johnson, traveling with Cortana, exploring that gargantuan ring. It might be a bit dated nowadays with its more limited sandbox and older graphics, if you don't play the Anniversary Edition or any mods, but it started one of the best gaming franchises ever made, even though it's really fallen far from its former glory, and it launched the Xbox into gaming stardom. Now before I get to number 1, I felt I should include some honorable mentions. Shadow of the Colossus for being a super fun and cinematic boss battle game, Forbidden Siren 2 for being a very well made and spooky PS2 game, Air Combat for being my first combat flying game, God of War 2 for being an extremely satisfying hack and slash, Guitar Hero 3 for endless musical entertainment and an arcade game that I still play if it's available, and Red Alert 2 for being, to my knowledge anyway, my first and favorite real-time strategy game. And finally, number 1. K-On! Hakago Live. This is pretty much the only fully Japanese game I've ever bought to play on PSP, and thanks to the English patch that was made, I was able to further enjoy the game while sharing it with all of you. I played this game extensively after I got it, and almost S-ranked every song on both difficulties. It's really disappointing there was no Season 2 version made since K-On! Has so many songs, plus the fact that poor June wasn't even included in the game. But what we have is still super fun and really cute. Seeing the chibi K-On! Models in the cutscenes is so adorable. If you are a K-On! Fan, even if you don't understand Japanese, I urge you to try this game. It's not too difficult to pick up without knowing the language, and if you already play rhythm games, all the better. And that's the list. I hope you guys liked that. If you have any games you still love from your earlier years, please share them down below. I'd love to see what games other people hold dear. As always, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on X, consider backing me on Patreon, and remember to stay chilled.